Baby grand piano, roof, furnace, dryer, elevator, cracked foundation, cracked tiles, leaning railing outside, couches, cutlery, garden beds, and pool heaters. What on earth do all of these things have in common? These are all the things that were part of negotiations in the last 2 months on our team when buying and selling. Yeah, all of those things. This is exactly what buying a home is like in the Greater Toronto area right now. And I'm going to explain to you why this may be a good thing if you're a buyer. Now, why are all of these things part of negotiations right now? It is because the market is more balanced than what most people believe to be, and there are a lot less unconditional offers right now that sellers are receiving. It's like I've been saying, the market feels as if we're pre-pandemic. So before 2020, when things were less frenetic and less frantic, and the idea of a home inspection condition in the contract is happening again right now. So if you're a freehold buyer that is, tired of putting in unconditional offers and concerned what may be behind the walls of a home or something, right? This is actually when you should be looking for a home, because despite the fact that, the common sentiment of everybody around me right now, at least, is waiting for a rate cut, there is actual opportunity right now because one, inventory is higher than normal. Two, the spring market momentum is fading and sellers are slowly capitulating, at least those who are motivated. And this is even applicable in certain hot areas. And we're seeing a lot of these offer dates that are expecting bidding wars, they're all failing. This is why all the items I've listed earlier became part of the negotiations, because we're slowly leaning towards a more balanced market. And as a buyer, it's slowly starting to swing in your favor, which is quite rare in the freehold space in the GTA. The question is, how long will this window of opportunity last, and why isn't every seller thinking like this at the moment? This is exactly what our team is helping a lot of our clients navigate right now, because not everyone is in this situation as a seller. But if you want to chat about your specific kind of unique situation and take advantage of this window of opportunity in the freehold market right now as a home buyer, you could book a call with me using the link that's on the screen right here. It's www.chatwithzen.com. Simply click on the date and a time that works best for you. And then when you see the prompt, fill in your name, email, mobile phone number, and a question you have for me, and then we'll chat then. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Properties TV. My name is Zen, and we're enjoying the content I'm putting out there. Do me a favor and like and subscribe. So I wasn't kidding about, having all those items I listed in the beginning of the video as part of a negotiations in the last 2 months. So just, call it spring market. And yes, even cutlery like forks, spoon, and knives was part of the negotiation as we were selling a unit that was used for short-term rentals. And here's the thing I've been saying a lot. The market is slowing, it's stalling, and now that the media headlines are finally grasping what we have seen, at least from boots on the ground, and they're finally talking about it, the sentiment is changing. And more sellers are starting to realize this spring market that they're looking for isn't quite the spring market, wink, wink, if you know what I mean, right? It's just not what they're hoping for. And this is why most of the homes that our team has transacted on were conditional in some way, shape, or form, more than majority, right? And this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's actually a good thing for buyers because it gives them time to actually do some due diligence when making such a big decision, because traditionally in the last 5 years, they haven't had that time and it's always been unconditional offers. And it's probably frustrating for some sellers because it's giving the buyers essentially a way to renegotiate the deal, mainly the terms, not so much the price. And this is why a lot of buyers right now can demand fixes and repairs of certain items on the homes that I listed in the beginning of this video, such as roofs, furnace, not functioning appliances, et cetera, right? Because they have that ability to, especially if the seller wants to move on. And because the home inspection report will point out a lot of these items, there's evidence that you can show to, hey, this is our concern. We're gonna now firm up if you fix these. And generally this is how the psychology of the transaction goes if you're on the seller side. When you're trying to sell it, there's relief when there's a meeting of minds between the seller and the buyer on the price. But shortly after, when the offer is conditional on a home inspection, usually like after one night of sleep, the anxiety starts to kick in, because when a property is sold conditionally, it's very, very hard as the listing agent to generate additional traffic again on the listing, because no one wants to go see a home that's been sold conditionally. Especially if the buyer backs out, they're like, oh, what's wrong with the property? Is there, something wrong with it, right? So most of the time, the decision to firm up is within all the buyers, right? So it gives them ultimately the deciding power. And this is what we call tying up the property, right? Only you as the buyer can essentially buy this, and you don't allow anyone else to buy this home because, you tied it up and you put a deposit on, right? That's kind of how it works. Now, the key to the game theory of all of this negotiation is knowing the motivations and kind of the ideal end outcome of both parties, being the seller and the buyer. And I've said this countless times, many, many times before, right? Real estate essentially is an information advantage game. The more you know, the better off you'll be, and the more likely you'll have a larger win-win situation for yourself, right? This is where you can press certain buttons in negotiation to get things done, like terms that also benefit you because you've shifted the leverage to be in your favor. And don't get me wrong, right? It's not that, you're going to get a renegotiation of the price, because some sellers are just forget it, F off kind of thing, right? Because that's not what the home inspection is for. But the condition does, allow the buyers to request items to be fixed to firm up, because then once they sign the amendment to firm up and have certain fixes, every party can move on with their lives. And a lot of people, especially if they're trying to upgrade or downgrade or downsize, whatever you want to call it, right? They want to move on with their lives. So when you have low listings and high amount of buyers, like we saw in January and February of this year in 2024, the opposite was happening, right? When you have 85 offers on a home, no way in hell are you going to have a seller take a conditional offer. It just makes no sense. However, the tides have turned, like I was saying, and we are not seeing as many offers. 85 is kind of stupid. We're not even seeing 5 offers right now on offer dates. And when the listings which have offer dates are being sold conditionally, ultimately, it's allowing the buyers to have a little bit more time to do their due diligence with the home inspection before such a big purchase, which is kind of rare in Toronto. The real question is, how long is this window going to last? And I would say for the freehold, maybe a few months. Because at the moment, we have 22,000 active listings, which is about 4,000 or 18% more than the average we normally see in May in the last 10 years. So it's going to take some time for this inventory to actually get absorbed, especially if we're talking in the condo space. But, for the freehold homes, I think this window of opportunity will be short, because whenever this first rate hike is happening, whether it be in July or September, yes, I don't think one is happening in June, I think it will move the needle enough that the freehold space is going to start moving again. So if you fall into this category of trying to buy a freehold home and you're wondering if it makes sense for you to kind of start looking now and take advantage of this window of opportunity, not necessarily to get a really, really low price, but more so to take advantage of the fact that you can do due diligence on the property you're trying to buy and you have some time to think about it, you could book a call with me using the link that's on the screen. It's right here. It's www.chatwithzen.com. And we'll chat about what you're trying to do to make sure that the opportunity is actually there, because like I've been saying, it really depends on the area you're trying to buy, right? But you want to understand what's happening in that area before you do anything else. Anyways, I hope this helps. Until next time, your move, your future. See ya! Now that you're done watching this one, how about this one? Or this one? You know what? Just watch them both.